All right, here we go. My name's Jeff K, and you're listening to episode 390 of the world-famous West Virginia Surf Report podcast.
Is way out of line.
Well, I'm on the other side. I made it to the other side. I had my so-called medical procedure a couple days ago, and I'm still alive. You know, I didn't die during anesthesia, which is one of the many things I was worried about. I've never had anesthesia before in my life, so this is all, stressful to me. I'm sure you guys remember, but I had a Cologuard test, one of those shit-in-a-box deals, and the thing came back hot. I'm not sure that's the way they put it, but it came back abnormal, which scared me. You know, I always think the worst. I'm neurotic. I'm a worrier, you know. So the woman called me, and she goes, this thing came back abnormal. You're going to have a colonoscopy. But, that doesn't necessarily mean that you have cancer. I'm like, I don't even want to hear it. Don't even say that word. I don't know. So, so as soon as that phone call came in, and then they scheduled it for 2.5 months later, the colonoscopy. So I had 2.5 months to stew about this stuff and just build up scenarios inside my head, all negative. It's terrible, I just have assumptions that everything's going to be terrible. There's a reason why this thing came up abnormal. It's because, they're going to find something that's going to change the trajectory of the rest of my life. This is where there's going to be this is a turning point right here. This is going to be where they find something and everything's different. Nothing is the same. Tony would be, during that, 2.5 months, Tony would be like, look, why don't we go, visit your parents maybe like in early August, maybe late July. I don't know. We're, planning these little trips, these little, I wouldn't call them vacations, but, stuff that, these little trips. And I'll be like, I don't know. I don't know. I said, it sounds good, but I'm thinking, I don't know if that's going to coincide with my chemotherapy, I'm terrible. I'm awful about this stuff. And I was scared of the anesthesia. I was corrected, by the way. And this is not anesthesia. This is sedation. So, that makes all the difference in the world. That makes me feel much better. I don't give a shit. You're putting me to sleep, right? Okay, maybe I don't have the proper terminology. Putting me to sleep, putting me under. Correct? Yeah. Whatever, man. Couldn't give it. Who cares? God, I love when people correct. People love. What people love is people who correct all the time. Anyway, I'm getting off track already. But anyway, so it finally arrived. Thursday, I had to do the prep, which everybody told me was the worst part. That's the worst part, by far. You're going to shit yourself inside out, mister. You're going to be you may as well just go sit. You make sure your tablet's charged because you're going to be in there watching movies. You're never going to leave the toilet. You're going to watch Gone with the Wind. You're going to watch these long movies. You're just going to be in there just shitting and shitting. It's just going to be, it's just going to be nonstop for 6 or 7 hours. It'll be screaming and yelling, begging for it to stop. And you're going to see stuff in there from defunct fast food restaurants, maybe like Burger Chef, maybe Rack's roast beef. There's stuff that's going to be coming out of you, different colors. It's going to be like the Northern Lights. This is the stuff I was being told. This is going to be something. You're never going to forget this. I was like, oh my God. That's the worst part. The prep is just the worst part. That's what everybody says. The prep's the worst part. The actual colonoscopy is nothing. Okay, this is my experience. So that whole day I wasn't able to eat. I wasn't allowed to eat anything. I could drink coffee. I could drink coffee, which is good, but I couldn't put any kind of milk. I usually just have a splash of milk in there. No milk, just black coffee. That's fine. I have no issue with that. That helped a lot. So I drank coffee until, I don't know, early in the afternoon. So that was all right. That helped. You can't have coffee. You can't have any kind of food except for broth and Jell-O for some reason. So I had some broth. It is all right. Actually, it helped a little bit. I had some Jell-O, but that's bullshit. What is the point of that? What's the point of Jell-O? That stuff sucks. I ate it because at least it was something. It had a little bit of flavor. And I drank a lot of water, all that stuff. And then in the early afternoon, it said between 3 and 5 o'clock, start drinking that stuff. You had to take 2 pills when you get out of bed. 2 laxatives. Did nothing to me. I don't know. It was as if I didn't take them. I don't know. So it said between 3 and 5, prepare your concoction and start drinking it. Drink 8-ounce glass every 10 minutes until the stuff's gone. Like the entire thing. It's like 64 ounces. So I got this pitcher and I poured in a 28-ounce Gatorade in there. The yellow, just the regular Gatorade. And poured in that whole bottle of powder. And then put another 28-ounce Gatorade on top of it, and then poured in some water to make it approximately 64 ounces. Stirred it all up. And I was like, oh, here we go. This is going to be disgusting. It's probably going to be chalky. It's going to be horrible. But, I don't know, it tasted exactly like Gatorade. It wasn't bad at all. And I drank them as they said every 10 minutes. I had a glass of it, a small glass of it. And, it wasn't bad. It got to the point where I didn't want any more. My gut was distended and it was sloshing around in there. It's like an ocean of Gatorade in my gut, So I don't know, but it wasn't that bad, It wasn't that bad. So anyway, I did that, and then nothing happened. I don't know. The Reds were playing a day game that day. I was watching that, just sitting there waiting for everything to kick in, because that's what they said. Everybody said the prep is the worst part, and they said that the next day is nothing, and then everybody says, you'll be fine. How do you know I'm going to be fine? How do you know that? What are you, Kreskin? How do you know that? Just because I don't know. I don't know what the percentages is. Even if it's 90%, even if there's a 90% chance that everything's going to be fine, there's still 10%. How do you know I'm not going to be in that 10%? You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so I drank that concoction. My gut was distended. I was bloated out like I don't even know. I was mildly uncomfortable. But then I was watching the baseball game. Nothing was happening. I'm like, I don't think this thing's going to work. I don't think it's going to touch it. I don't think. How am I? Because those first 2 pills didn't do anything, And so I don't know. I don't know. I was prepared, mentally prepared to, just unleash a non-stop assault on porcelain. I was ready for that. Nothing, I'm like, I don't know, I don't know what's going to happen, I don't know what's going to happen. Finally, I got the urge, but it wasn't violent. People were telling me, oh, you're going to be bent over, screaming for, like, what the hell? Your anus is going to be prolapsed because of this just constant nonstop. I was like, okay. So I went, and I felt the urge. Went in there. Yeah, it was fairly spectacular. It was pretty good. It was a pretty good, that was a pretty good session, that first one. But I mean, it wasn't like what everybody was saying, but it was pretty good. And then I went back to the game. Nothing for a while. And then a little while later, I went back, and it was way less violent than the first one. Yeah, but it was just like, it was like a garden hose shooting out of my ass, like a garden hose, So I was like, what's going to happen? I mean, I don't think this is working the right way. I mean, what everybody said, everybody's telling me what was going to happen is not happening. It's not that big of a deal, It's not that bad. Everybody's like, don't even get 10 feet away from the toilet because you might not make it back, what you're going to be watching movies and there's no movies. So anyway, I maybe maybe like 5 times. Each time way less violent, but it was all just straight liquid. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to be gross. And then I was like, this is not going to work. They're going to turn me away. There's going to be stalagmites and stalactites. When they're getting there's like, wake him up. Get it. He didn't even do the prep. Look at this. This looks like Carter Caves. What the hell? But anyway, so I was worried about that, of course. That's the way I do. I worry about everything. But I did what they asked me to do. I don't know by 7 o'clock. Maybe even before that, maybe 6 o'clock, everything was over. I mean, there was nothing else. I had no more. It wasn't like some people were saying, you'll be up till 2 o'clock in the morning. Like, by 7 o'clock, 6:30, 6, I don't know. I was done. I mean, nothing. I was starving, but, just had some broth, had a Sprite. We were allowed to drink clear soda. So that wasn't that bad. I mean, I was, that part wasn't that bad. The next morning I woke up stressed, I mean, my God, I didn't sleep all that well, but in the, that actually helped me, I think, being sleep deprived, that kind of like takes the edge off. You don't really feel much. You're just kind of like dragging. Everything's kind of fuzzy. It takes the hard edge off of a stressful situation if you're really, really tired. So I took a shower, got ready. In the directions it says, be sure to shower before you arrive, before you come to the center. I mean, if they have to tell people that, there's people going to be running a cable up your ass. You don't even take a shower. They have to actually tell people about that. God. So I did, I took a shower and got dressed. It said wear loose clothing, stuff that can be easily folded. What the hell does that mean? What cannot be folded? What are you going to be wearing in there? Like chainmail? What the hell? It's like really weird. So I went in there, checked in. There's a bunch of people in the waiting room. That place is like a conveyor belt, And I said, what are you going to do? Because Tony had to go up there because you're not allowed to drive afterwards. So she had to stay there, or she had to be there when I got out. She goes, I'm going to go to the car and make a grocery list. And I started laughing. She goes, why? What's so funny about that? And I said, I was having a conversation with my boss, and I was talking to her about it, and she goes, Tony's going to be so nervous. She's going to be pacing around, worrying about you. I said, are you serious? I said, she'll probably be out in the car making a Wegmans shopping list, the stuff it's exactly what she's going to do. And do you think I'm not tapped into this stuff? I'm the one that worries. She's had surgeries, and I'm like a nervous wreck. I am pacing and looking at the clock, and they say it should be out by 6:30 or whatever the number is, and it's like now 7 or whatever. I think she had her gallbladder out, and it was like late at night like that. It was like 6:30 or something. I was like, oh my God, there has to be complications, And so I'm the one. She's not, Anyway, it's just it's a colonoscopy. God. So anyway, she said she was going to go make a grocery list, which is exactly what I predicted. And so they took me back finally they called me and took me back into an office and asked me a bunch of questions, like when was the last time you had a bowel movement? I'm like, well, I don't really, I don't generally talk about these kinds of, especially, people I don't know and, or anybody, for that matter. I mean, she goes, come on, just tell me. I said this morning, God. And she wanted the description of it. Like, oh my God, I don't need. And then she said, do you have a living will? I said, what? I said, are you guys expecting me to die on the table? And she just like laughed. She goes, no, I got to ask about that. I said, I don't know, maybe. I can't keep track of it. I don't. She goes, we wouldn't honor it anyway. I said, why are you even bringing her up then? God, it's making me stressed out. She took my blood pressure. It was good, which is shocking. And she talked shit about Cologuard. She said those things are terrible. She goes, I don't even know why they offer that. And it's like, I don't know. I said, the only reason I took it is to avoid this. I said, I thought I might be able to avoid this. She goes, yeah, but let's see where you're sitting. She asked if my parents had if there's any family history of polyps or colon cancer. I said, I think polyps, but no cancer. She goes, yeah. See, if your parents had polyps removed, then you probably have polyps too, and then that'll just trigger this Cologuard thing. It's ridiculous. Just get a colonoscopy. It's like, okay, I don't know, man. I don't need a lecture. I'm just trying to avoid having a cable fed into my ass. Is that so? I mean, can you not understand that? Can you not understand that is my? So anyway, so that was a weird conversation. She's asking me about my, just to describe my most recent bowel movement. Oh my God, how would you? Oh, anyway. So then this cute girl. Why is it always a cute girl? Why? Why is this cute young girl takes me to a bed? She gives me this gigantic gown that you could put over. I mean, you could stretch that thing over, a Lincoln Continental. If you wanted to keep the tree sap off a Lincoln Continental. It's like, I know I'm a fat ass, but I don't think what is this? God, thing is huge. She goes, take your pants and underwear off, and I'm like, oh my God. So, and then climb up on the bed. So I'm trying. The thing's like really high off the ground. I had to step up on some kind of step stool to get in the thing, and my balls are out in the open air. And I don't think the thing's like all like bunched up, and you can. Oh my God, she came in there. And the thing was bunched up. She probably got like a view right down the barrel. God, it's horrible. I mean, it's just horrible, So then she told me that she would be in the room during the procedure. And I'm like, that's fantastic. That's spectacular. I said, well, I'm sorry. I apologize for what you're about to witness. She was like, oh, I've done it many times. I said, all right. Well, so then she just left me sitting there, just sitting in that bed. The back was like ratcheted up a little bit, so I'm not laying completely flat, And I'm just sitting in there, stripped from the waist down. They let me keep my T-shirt on, told me to keep my socks on for some reason. So I'm sitting in that bed, my balls are like moving slowly southward like a glacier, you know. And I'm like, oh my God, this is horrible. This is just horrible. Then she finally comes back over there, and she rolls me into the exam room, and then there's some other woman in there, and this other woman like jams a needle. It felt like it went all the way through my hand. I thought it came out the other side. Hurt like a bitch. God. It was the IV, thing. God. She put that on the back of my hand. It felt like it went all the way through. And she goes, "It's just saline." I mean, everybody was super nice. I mean, I don't want to paint a picture like they're uncaring or anything. Everybody was super nice. But it was, it hurt. And I'm laying in there. Oh, God. And up on this high bed, feel ridiculous. I don't know. I'm hoping everything's covered up. And I got something jammed through my hand. And then they stick these monitor things all over me. And then they told me to roll over on my left side. I'm like, oh God, my ass is hanging out the back of that thing. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what they could see. I mean, there was some glacier activity going on. In fact, when I was laying there at the end, like before they heard me turn over, I feel like I reached all the way to the bed. I feel like I think I reached all the way to the bed. I could touch my balls were touching the bed. I can't help it, man. I'm 61. What do you want from me? Then they had me roll over on my side, and oh God. My ass is out. There's like a breeze blowing across it. I can feel like when somebody walks by, there's people in the room. Oh my God. The doctor comes in and he goes, "How you doing, buddy?" I'm like, "Well, I've been better. I don't know. This is not." He was like, "Oh, this is not going to take very long. Have you ever had a colonoscopy before?" I said, "No." "What's the reason?" I told him Cologuard. He goes, "Don't even do those things." These guys having a serious problem with the Cologuard. He goes, "You're just gonna, it shows right here that you have a family history of polyps. Every time it's going to come back abnormal every time, and you're going to be in here having more colonoscopies than you need." I said, "God knows I don't want that." So he was talking shit about that, and then this woman goes, "All right, we're gonna knock you out, and we'll see you on the other side." I was like, "All right." So she shot some kind of syringe into the the IV. Next thing I know, I'm waking up. I'm waking up over where I started, over where I had to take my pants off. Back over there. It's like second. It felt like you blink and you're somewhere else. It's really weird. And there's a woman waking me up, some nurse, I don't know who she is. And she's like, "Wake up, it's time, get up, wake up." And so I wake up and I say, "Is everything okay? Was everything okay?" I'm like stressed. I come out of sedation. I don't want to say anesthetic or whatever. I make sure I use the proper terminology. She goes, "I think everything is okay. I don't know, but the doctor will come over. I wasn't in there." I said, "Okay." So she goes, You want juice? You want some juice? Orange juice, apple juice?" I said, "I'll have some orange juice." And she goes, "Okay." So she comes back with a little shot glass full of orange juice. And I said, "Do you know anything about it? Is everything okay?" She said, "Sir, the doctor will be over." Like getting irritated with me. "Do you know the level of neuroses that runs through me? I need somebody to tell me right away." So finally, he came over. He told me there was one polyp that had to be removed, that he removed. And then he breaks out some pictures. He has pictures, color pictures, from deep inside my ass. Pictures inside my butt. You know what I mean? He goes, "Here's the polyp. We snipped that off. we're going to send that off to have it checked, but I've done 1,000 of these. I can tell it's benign, so, if you don't hear from us, you're good. No news is good news. There was some hemorrhoids, but everybody has those. Something. He started telling me all kinds of after the age of 50, you have something percent. He's giving me all kinds of data. I'm like, I don't know. Okay. I said, but everything's okay, right? And he goes, yeah, looks like everything's good. Unfortunately, since you have a polyp, you're going to have to come back in a year, though. And I said, oh, my God. I said, all right, that's good. That's fine. I don't know. The year's going to fly by, though. In a year, I'm going to be like, are you serious? Wasn't that like 2 months ago that I was in there? That's what it's going to feel like. But I have to go back in a year. Everything's good, though. I don't know. And these nurses came over. They're like, make sure you pass gas. You have to pass gas or we won't let you go. We pump you full of air. What was it, like sheets? Put 35 pounds of air pressure up my butt, you know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, God. And then I'm laying there trying to conjure I don't know. I didn't feel like, I felt like my guts were like all, in a turmoil, I didn't feel right. Something was off. And, I ripped off a few, couple, 3, 4, I don't know. I thought I was good. I could hear other people in there farting. There's like people. There's like a row of people divided by curtains. There's people in there just farting all it. She goes, "Did you pass gas, sir?" I said, "Oh yeah." Thanks for asking. I don't really feel comfortable talking about this, but yeah, I did. She was like, "Good boy. That's a good boy." Treat you like a baby, which in my case is completely. That's the way. That's the perfect tone, because that's what I am, a big old giant baby. About this whole thing, I have no courage when it comes to stuff like this. I am a complete basket case, and I appreciated talking to me like a little baby. She goes, "Good boy." I was like, "Well, I'm very happy, very proud." So there's other people in there ripping them off. I'm like, oh my God, how would you like to work here? I was laying there thinking, how would you like to work in a place where all you see is old man balls, gaping anuses, just continuous farting, questions, just constant questions about bowel movements and the texture and the color of said bowel movements, how would you, somebody's got to do it. I'm sure they're well paid. At least the doctors are. But I don't know. I don't know. It's a bizarre thing. So I left there. They finally let me go, and I wasn't there very long. Probably no more than 2 hours total, maybe less. I don't know. And Tony, I said, I got to get something to eat. Tony was driving, and she goes, "Where do you want to go?" I said, "I don't know. I don't want something ridiculous." He told me not to eat. He gave me a list of things not to do. But one of them was no alcohol. That's funny. After what I've been through, Anyway, I didn't. My stomach was in turmoil, and there was like a pain. There was like a pain on the right side, like. I think that's where they snipped that polyp off. I could feel it, kind of like a low-grade pain. But my stomach was still all bloated out, and it just felt like it was just in turmoil, It didn't feel good at all. But I was really hungry. I thought that might be the problem. So I said, let's go to Waffle House, and I'll just get scrambled eggs and stuff, and it'll be and some toast, maybe something mild like that. So we went there, and it was good, I guess. I had no issue, but I still felt like garbage. I felt like trash. So I went home. We went home, and I tried to use the bathroom. Nothing. It was just. I don't know. I don't know. It's like a vapor lock or something. Nothing was happening. I was like, oh my God, I feel terrible. I feel terrible. So I said, I think I'm just going to go upstairs and take a nap. I don't know. I need to sleep this thing off. I mean, I hate to be, because everybody said the worst thing is the prep, and the prep wasn't even that bad. And then the next day is easy. Well, I'm having the worst part. You know, I feel worse now than during the entire thing, right? So I went upstairs and I laid down on the bed, and I laid on my left side, and tried to go to sleep. Fired off a fairly muscular rectal flare as soon as I laid down. I thought that's got to help. But it's all messed up. I mean, it's just a gurgling mess, just a mess. So then I couldn't go to sleep. I'm laying there worried. Something's wrong. I don't know. I'm neurotic. So then I changed positions and rolled over on my right side, and something broke loose. And there was the longest fart of my entire that I've ever produced in my entire life. It must have lasted 30 seconds straight. And the thing had different stages to it. It changed tone, volume several times. I mean, it just kept going. I was like, oh my God. And then I instantly fell asleep. Oh, there was a couple of powerful aftershocks after that, But then I fell asleep and slept for 2 hours. And when I woke up, felt great. I don't know. I felt like whenever I rolled over on my right side, the seal was broken on that vapor lock, and everything was just released. Oh, it was fantastic. It was one of the greatest moments. I felt so much better. When I woke up, I felt 100% better, So I said, to hell with this. I'm going, they told me not to drive. I'm going to the store, get some ice cream, I went and got some beer. I got some other stuff. I don't know. I bought snacks and stuff. And I came home and re-entered the human race. I came back and everything was back to normal. Watched the Reds beat the Dodgers. I think it was, yesterday. Yeah, the Reds beat the Dodgers. It's fantastic. God. Anyway, I made it through. It was very nerve-wracking. I don't do well in these kinds of situations. But I made it through. I swear, having no sleep helped me. Not having very little sleep, it just takes the edge off, of the concern and worry. So anyway, that's over for a year, which will feel like 2 or 3 months to me. It'll come around so fast. Anyway, I'm good, I think. No news is good news. That's what the doctor said. So we'll see. I'll keep you updated if anything changes. But I think I might be out of the woods for right now. Whoo! All right. So that's that. I do have one phone call came in over the hotline, and let's play that one right here.
Jeff, it's your old buddy Wisey in T-Town. And dude, I just had to call you. I know you're stressing about your colonoscopy. And, dude, prep is definitely the worst. Anesthesia is great. You'll love it. It's the best sleep you're going to have. And it's over before you know it. So don't stress about it. I know you're worried about them finding something, but look, as long as you're not, shitting blood or, dropping a bunch of weight, and we know that's not happening for you, you got nothing to worry about. Also, dude, I love the show because I find out new things. Now, I knew there was thick piss, but I didn't know anything about meat piss or farting out your penis. So I appreciate that. I'm not going to be able to sleep at night now, and I will be listening intently every time I take a piss just to make sure that's not happening to me. That sounds horrifying. Something is definitely not right. But I would have probably laughed in that guy's face, too, because that's nutty. I didn't think anything like that would ever happen. Hope you're doing good. Things are good here. Love the show. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Wisey. Appreciate it. Yeah, I know that's what you're saying. And everybody says it's the prep. I don't know. I didn't have that reaction, or I didn't have that experience, I should say. But my dad told me the same thing, and everybody I talked to told me the same thing. I don't know. It wasn't even that bad, really. The prep. I didn't have a terror. The worst part was afterwards. Nobody mentioned that to me at all. I know everybody has a different experience. I didn't have any. The worst part. I mean, I was stressed, but that's all. I'm all up in my head about that. I mean, I've never done any kind of, like medical shit. So I'm just like stressed out. I have all these scenarios, negative. Like I'm going to die. They're going to give me too much anesthesia because I'm fat. They're going to overdo it. They're going to overplay their hand and just kill me. That's why they're asking about that living will, So everything, and they're going to find something catastrophic in there. That's right, in there. So I don't know that part, and then so everybody, so that part sucked, But that's just me. That's the way I am. The actual prep, I mean, it wasn't great. The worst part was not being able to eat that day. But even that, I was all right. I mean, I wasn't completely miserable. I wasn't miserable until after I got after I left the colonoscopy place. I don't know. Everybody has a different experience, I guess. But I appreciate your words on that. And and the whole thing about that guy with the farting through his penis and all that stuff. Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, I don't know. And, if somebody said something like that, if something like that ever happened to me, like I said before, I would be telling that story all the time, Or like that stupid girl I went out on that one date with, telling me about getting blasted out of the bed. I don't understand. I mean, I really don't understand how you could find humor in my misfortune. I don't know. Here's $10. Catch a cab because I'm leaving. That's what I wanted to say. God, if you can't find, I'd be telling everybody, and I'd be down at the bank telling them. Every time I get an oil change. Hey, I'd ever tell you about that time I got blasted out of bed? I ever tell you about that time I pissed meat? They'd be like, yes, Jeff. Yes, we've heard that one. It's a good story, but we've heard it a few times. Well, just want to make sure everybody knows. But anyway, thanks for your call, Wisey. I appreciate it. Call back anytime if you want to call in. And when I say you, everybody in addition to Wisey in T-Town, you can call the number 570-290-8151 round the clock anytime you wanna, and have leave a reaction, a response, whatever. If you have a suggestion, question, whatever, give me a call. 570-290-8151. That's the number. Be a part of a future show. And if you want 2 episodes a week instead of a measly one, you can do that too by heading over to patreon.com. It's Patreon, patreon.com/JeffK. Sign up for a $4 or more monthly donation, and you'll get an extra episode every week. Not every once in a while, not every month. That's for suckers. Every week. And I've been on track. I've kept on track for a while. So I'm going to try my best to maintain, all right? So head on over to patreon.com/JeffK and sign up. It's great. It costs nothing. I mean, $4 is almost nothing. You put it on a credit card and you don't even notice it. But then you get an extra episode every week. It's good value. So do that today if you're so inclined. And if you want to check out the website, which I urge you to, head on over to surfreportpod.com. I have expanded show notes, links, photographs, etc., etc. I'm not going to share any photographs on this one. He didn't give me those pictures that were taken. I don't know. They sent a Kodak Instamatic deep up my ass. I don't know I don't know what the hell's going on. But anyway, I don't have those pictures, so I'm not going to share them. Don't worry. And I don't know, that girl, she probably put something up on, I don't know what her name is. She probably posts pictures of people's asses on Instagram. No, I'm sure. Well, maybe not everybody's ass, but anyway, surfreportpod.com is the home, the internet home for the podcast. Check it out. We're at the end of this thing. Thank you guys for listening. Hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, which will be over on the Patreon side, hope you guys have yourselves a fine, fine day. I'll see you. Bye. Non-stop assault on porcelain.